My name is Sigmund Tobias. I was born in Berlin, Germany in 1932. I remember being caught up in a Nazi parade where everybody was yelling Heil Hitler, and I was shocked to see my parents raising their arms in the salute and also saying Heil Hitler. And when I asked them about it later on, they said they had to do that because otherwise the crowd might have turned on us. And then, of course, was Kristallnacht, the night of shattered glass. That was one of the more horrifying nights. We heard the shattering glasses outside, and every time that happened, we realized that some Jewish business or store had been vandalized. And it was clear that the lives of Jews were in danger in Germany, constant danger. And I suddenly realized that there was no safety for us anywhere. Fortunately, my father recognized that as well. He was stateless, so he couldn't get out of Germany, but he decided to smuggle himself into Belgium, thinking that if things were safer there, we would join him there. He was caught on the border, and the Germans imprisoned him in the Dachau concentration camp. 46,000 prisoners in Dachau died in Dachau. My mother heard that he could be released if he left the country within, I think, 48 hours. And we found that the only place which did not require visas was the Japanese-occupied portion of Shanghai. It was not difficult to leave Germany. It was difficult finding a place to go. And 6 months later, my mother and I joined him in Shanghai. Well, life was very difficult. Malnutrition was rampant. Food was scarce, obviously. And my estimate is that we lost perhaps a third of the population who had arrived. The Japanese insisted that all the Jews move into a small part of Shanghai, which we obviously called a ghetto. For all our time in Shanghai, I and my parents shared one room. We ate in that room, we slept in that room, we cooked in that room. When the war was over, we felt fortunate, of course, to have survived. And then we heard about the Holocaust. 14 aunts, uncles, and cousins of mine had not survived. These were not just names to me. These were people with whom I had lived, laughed, and cried. And we were devastated. At a time when my people were being killed in Auschwitz and other sort of places, we found safety in Shanghai. And I thank the Chinese people for letting us live safely among them during those terrible years. Because if we hadn't, I would not be. One of the reasons so many 6 million Jews were killed was not because they didn't want to go flee. They wanted to flee. They couldn't find a country to accept them. If they had been in Israel, there would not have been a Holocaust. Minorities are often reviled. My suggestion to that is that rather than think about the strangeness of minorities, one might think about the diversity they add to our country, to our culture, to our institutions, to our literature, to our theater, and they bring to that a richness of diversity, which is an asset to the country. I became an American citizen in 1955, and I'm eternally grateful to have received the education and the opportunity to succeed in this country, which I would not have received certainly in Germany or in any other country. I guess in some sense, you might say I've become proud to be an American.